Hello everyone, my name is Sojod Sameer Alkhour. I'm studying English translation at the Islamic University of Gaza. Today I will talk about an important theme which is self-knowledge in an interesting famous play which is King Lear. So before talking about anything, I will define what self-knowledge is. So self-knowledge is understanding of oneself, one's character, abilities or motives. And this is important in King Lear because Lear is a king and self knowledge helps him to understand the true of power as we will see later. So now I will discuss this theme in detail by passing through some quotes which were said by King Lear himself, which show us the idea of self knowledge. So, the beginning of the play, King Lear completely lacks self knowledge. At the beginning of the play, we find that Lear is king of Britain. He is proud, he is the king, and he decided to divide his kingdom between his three daughters, accordance with the degree of love which his daughters feel for him. Regan and Gundrel tell him that they love him so much and tell him they love him more than anything. But Cordelia, his more honest daughter, who honestly loves him, tells him the truth. I love your majesty according to my bond, no less, no more. So King Lear became very angry and he divided his kingdom between Regan and Gunril, while the youngest daughter is totally deprived of her share because he has failed to gratify her father. After that, he decided to stay with them 1 month and keeping 100 nights with him. Gudril and Regan are a copy of each other and complained about Lear knights and treated Lear so badly. Lear is surprised by their attitude. Here, King Lear shows his lack of self knowledge. Number one, in the fact that he has no clue about his own daughters. Number two, he fails to recognize the manipulative actions of his daughters and also failing to see the truth of Cordelia. I think King Lear is metaphorically blind to the truth. As we know, Lear's daughters treated him so badly, so King Lear cannot believe the way he is being treated by his daughters. So he asked people around him, "Who is that? Can tell me who I am?" So King Lear asked this question in the play to discover his inner self and identity in the harsh world, this world of infidelity and distress. So from this point, he begins his self knowledge. Now Lear sees himself without power, without respect, without dignity. Also, he said, "Oh, most small fault. Look, oh, here, the suffering, the pain." Lear is only able to see that these actions were wrong, and he is faced the realization that he is the cause of his own suffering. So Lear begins his pursuit of self knowledge. I think this suffering is caused by the realization, even more agonizing than the rejection Lear faced from his daughters. So now Lear must face the harsh reality that he is the one at fault, and later on, this leads him into madness. So he said, "Oh, fool, I shall go mad." So, this quote explains that this play not only depicts the suffering but also the healthy effect, and also foreshadow that later on Lear will be mad. I think Shakespeare presents Lear's madness as a necessary component of his pursuit of self knowledge. After that, neither Regan nor Goneril makes any effort to stop their father from going out into the storm. Sally rushes out into the dark and stormy night in a careless mood. Lear calls upon the winds to blow. Blow, winds, and crack your cheeks. So the storm scene has dramatic significance to the theme of self-knowledge. So Lee realizes the truth that man is very trivial in this vast world. Here, the storm scene brings a great change and develops the self knowledge of King Lear. It also shows the helplessness of human beings on this earth. Lear feels the real condition of the lower class people. He thought when he was a king, he didn't have any knowledge about suffering or sorrow because he used to live a happy and comfortable life with strong protection. And this is a chance for him to understand himself as becoming a man mentally and physically from a king, and he also becomes a real man and a man of self knowledge. Now I will give you a summary which summarizes the idea. So we can say now we have two lear at the beginning of the play and at the end of the play. So at the beginning of the play, Lear was a selfish, vain, a proud, haughty, a dictatorial king. But at the end of the play, we find him to be gentle, sympathetic, humble person, and a man of self-knowledge. Finally, he appears as a man from a king who wins the sympathy and affection of all us. This is my presentation. I hope you love it. See you in another presentation, inshallah, and thank you for your listening.